want to grow as a grower? Are you tired of being put to sleep by your educational growcasts? Are you tired of hearing about products you don't fucking want and can't afford? Are you tired of being told how you should grow? Hi, I'm Johnny Apple, and joining me is everyone's favorite amphibian, the Reverend Pirate Frog. Join us as we sift through the bullshit on the internet and try to get better as growers. This is Your Average Grow.
Hey, dude.
Hey, man. So why don't we go into a little bit of a garden update?
Yeah, I mean, let's just go straight into it. No sweet talk. You don't want to
No.
you don't want to whisper sweet nothings into my ear. You're just going in raw. I dig it. I dig it. Um, yeah, dude. Tell me, brag to me about your garden.
Well, shit, I feel like I've neglected it for some time, man. I just wanted to fucking finally sitting down and looking at it and chatting about it. I feel like it's fucking, man, I'm excited again.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So,
Took a little step back sometimes.
well, I had to step back, man. Like I told
Fuck
you,
yeah.
like I was just getting overwhelmed and feeling like I was trying to do too much and blah, blah, blah. Well, that led to just one 4x4 set up with like peppers. I'm just threw some peppers in there. And the other one I got set up that's running the hella jellies in the 3x3 bed. Ugh. Dude, I opened that tent today. It's fucking packed, man.
Oh, I bet.
Like, so I've been waiting. You know, I was trying to film them. I'm trying to take my cut from the top part of the plant. That's how I'm going to start taking my cuts, like from these guys, because I'm running 9 in that tent, man. So I was like, I want the lowers to get a chance to get up. And what my thinking was is that once the lowers are all up, I can take my cut from that main stock and then I can really scrog everything out. And I just got one cut from each one of them. And that's how I'm going to narrow it down because it's a relatively stable cultivar. So I know that I'm likely to not see much variation between these. I'm guessing, right?
Well, I
Humboldt
mean,
is a relatively like stout breeder.
even if you didn't want to go by whatever reputation or whatever issues notwithstanding, the 9 you've planted look almost fucking identical. So
They do, and like their leaf structure is very identical.
yeah,
However, there is some slight differences.
of
I'm
course.
seeing it mostly in like height and whether or not the way the lower branches are coming out.
Yeah.
So I would call it like growth pattern
Mm-hmm.
is
Overall
what I'm seeing the
structure.
most yeah. I got one that's like the tallest of them all. It's kind of got my eye, but it wasn't throwing like wide, long side branches like I like to see. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on that. But there's like 4 other ones that are exactly what I'm looking for that are identical. And then there's like a couple shorter ones that have just lost my eye completely. It's like, they'll be what they're going to be. But like my first real test other than that is going to be taking that one main stem clone from the top and whatever one's root fine, great. And that's going to be like, if they don't, well, that was your first test,
Yeah. I mean, that
you know,
it'll
towards your
help you
mom's
narrow it
deal.
down at very least.
Yeah.
Going from 9.
So,
Yeah. Just like, what? Fuck this. Too much time. But you never know. I mean, the one you fell in love with could be just a bitch to root for whatever reason. But
now I am going to
knowing
try
you,
and take
yeah, I was gonna
lower
say,
cuts too. Like there's
yeah.
probably going to be some lowers so I'll probably get some other cuts in there too.
I'm
Because I
excited.
did just open that tent and it's like, whoa, man,
Time to do some shit.
it's time to do some shit. Yeah, like all right,
Oh,
I'm going to
put
be
it up.
watering every other day now, and
Yeah.
it's time to get in there and really clean shit up, and it's time to flip them, man. It is time.
I'm so excited.
So yeah,
It's gonna be beautiful and to watch you scrog that. It's fucking exciting. Also the peppers. Shout out to our buddy Herb. Let me just keep calling him every different name.
because he's got like 40.
I know it's hilarious, but artificial equinox with the pepper seeds. I gotta keep forgetting to start mine. I've had very little free time, but
Yeah,
those
you and me
peppers.
both, man.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say if you haven't noticed, but your peppers, that a lot of the stuff, your starts that you were showing off the last time I saw them, they looked really great. Did they keep going keep going positive, or did they trend negatively?
No, they're still looking good. The ones that are in that 3x3, dude, I've got I have them dimmed down the 6 lights that are in there that I was running the banana milks in, so
Mhm.
there's some fucking light in that tent.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I have them dimmed down because they're pepper seedlings, but that's it. I got a fan that comes on intermittently. It is control like, I have the environment controlled with the AC Infinity, so I
yeah.
have intake and exhaust, but, like, I'm not paying attention to it.
Well, of
I
course, yeah,
just set it up, and I'm not adding humidity, I'm not doing nothing 'cause it's just peppers, so it's like, let's see. Let's see if I can do something else that I don't have to pay as much attention to.
there you go, some
So
easy going.
I've still got peppers coming up, man, that's the weird thing. Like, there's one I just seen a brand new seedling come up, and these things are probably 2 weeks old now, some of them, and I'm
Oh, how
getting
awesome.
new seedlings coming, so it's like, "Oh, cool." Oh, because I just basically broadcast some seeds.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
what
really
I'm
cool.
I did s there is 2 quadrants of the bed that have not popped any yet. So my guess is, um, because I don't have the humidity and because I haven't been really watering, because it's just seedlings. When it gets
Yeah,
really dry, I go in there and throw some water on top.
dry
Um,
pockets and water, like wet
exactly, yeah.
pockets, yeah.
So I'm guessing that the top hasn't been moist enough. Now, what I might think about doing is after I water the bed the next time is just throwing a clone dome over top of the 2 areas where there could be some peppers and kinda keep those areas a little more humid to maybe pop a couple.
You lose
Um,
nothing if you don't. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, why not? They're not growing as it is, so maybe if I can encourage them a little bit, maybe they just needed a bit more humidity to actually germinate.
yeah, I mean,
Because
that's
I just doubt they're all duds. They're probably just not getting the right conditions to germinate.
it's probably just a little too dry in that one area, or who knows? But
Yep.
yeah, that's exciting.
Yep,
And
but, the ones that Artificial sent me, the, Sugar Rush peaches,
mhm.
those have germinated. I think there's, like, 4 of those now,
Ooh,
and then the Fresno jalapenos. Those there's, like, 4 or 5 of those now.
excellent.
Yep.
I'm excited for the hot sauce and hot sauce collab with Stoney to come out.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be tits.
It's gonna be so
That's gonna
good.
be awesome. Yeah.
But
But,
that's yeah. So, are you out of banana milk yet? Sorry, that just popped into my head because we were discussing last time we talked about your glass and
no, I have 2 half jars
okay. How did you
left.
find it? Was it good medicine for you, or was it okay and excited to try new stuff?
No, dude, banana milk one is off the chain. The
Okay,
terps are through the fucking roof. The effects have dwindled now because I've been consuming it the most and a
yeah,
lot of it.
nothing but it. Yeah.
Um, so the effects are dwindling just because it's my regular.
Hmm.
But when it was my first, it was like, okay, it hit like a ton of bricks, and then it really was a thought process one. Even still, if I need to figure something out, this one's spot on for that.
Perfect.
Yeah, and the
That
other 2, so Banana Milk 2 and Banana Milk 3, like 3, it was a dud. The terps weren't there, the effects weren't there, there's nothing. It's almost like it might be higher in CBD or something, I'm wondering.
interesting.
Yeah, because it's really low on the effects, at least for me, from
Yeah.
my
Well,
consumption rate
not
or
only that,
whatever
but
the
it's
hell.
compared to literally a plant that came from the exact same bed from the same tent. Like that's interesting.
Yeah, and it was the same seeds. These are all now, remember I had 3 that were really identical in structure and growth, and then the one that caught my attention ended up
Yeah.
being the winner. That was awesome, by the way.
Yeah. It
Um,
worked out.
and one ended up Herman, and then the other 2, they just I don't know, they had very similar terps to the Headstrong that I had, that burnt rubber.
Mm.
But other than that, there was, like, nothing favorable. Like,
Yeah, it's that's a disappointment. Kind of a bummer too. But I hope this current run of shit I refuse to say is good. That's what I'm hoping for. There's so
the
many
jellies,
people,
my
yeah, the
jellies.
jellies. So many people, not so many, but quite a few people reached out and said it was good medicine. So I'm
Man, I
hoping.
can't wait.
Yeah.
Um, my dad had somebody ask, he's like, "Hey, man, if you got enough, if you could take a cut, I would love to get one of those from you." It's like, "Yeah, man, I know it's outdoor season. If I got" I'm like, "I'm not stingy.
Yeah,
I have to make
you have to
sure
get
my
them.
grow is ready to go. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see what I got.
Absolutely.
I did have somebody else reach out to me and ask me to start some seeds for them, so I'm doing that
Oh,
for them.
sweet. How
So
nice of you.
I got well, I'm set up for it, man. So it's easy.
Well, yeah, but it's still very nice. Don't sell yourself too short. Leave that
Yeah.
for others.
So I planted 12 seeds for them. Only 10 of them took.
Okay.
Um Now they did germinate. One of them like start the main root, whatever that the tap root came
Uh,
like straight up and out of the peat hole. It was like, "Oh, cool. Let's see if it goes back down." And it turned itself back down, but then it like really slowed down. So I ripped the peat open to try and like get it so that it was right side up, and it came to the surface and then it like broke its neck or something and stalled out green at the surface. It even photosynthesized right there. It just never came up and actually started to grow. I was like, ah, man, that sucks. It was really, really
well,
going there.
give it a break. It had to overcome so much, man.
Oh, yeah. No, no,
They
no.
only
It was
have
just
so much nutrients built in.
absolutely. Well, it wasn't even, yeah, just didn't have the strength after what it went through. Its taproot was literally up in the air. So it was
Yeah,
fucking not
exactly.
liking that at all for sure. Um,
Well, when you only
And
get
then
so many, yeah,
the other one, it had cracked. When I finally investigated, it cracked, and I had seen some white. It just never took off after that. I don't know what it was,
are
but I
you at
did.
are you at liberty to say what you planted, or is it some government secret?
No, I don't remember because I did fem seeds for him, and there's like 4 different
Oh, okay. So it was a lot.
grains.
Yeah, no, no, okay.
Yeah, so I
You
think
didn't
like
just mass
purple
start one.
Skittles, Granddaddy purple, dank orange creamsicle, and something else. One other thing. It's really weird,
It better
but
be orange, or it's going to drive me crazy. You can't do
I
two
will bet
purples,
you
one
it's
orange, and
purple.
something else. Yeah, I was gonna say purple or orange. Yeah, that's cool. How exciting. That's super cool though too, because it you just get to have the fun of watching them pop and not have to worry that much.
Yeah, I've taken them till they're big enough to give them to. They're in solo cups, so once they're
Right
big
on.
enough in the solo cups to be put outside,
That's cool.
that's basically yeah. Because these guys just want to run them outside here. So
Yeah, I mean, if I had the space, I'd run every square inch. Would just have shit there, but
I'm still on the fence about throwing one out in an auto pot or in an auto pot in an
in
earth
that
box,
box,
an auto in an earth box just to see.
you might as
Um,
well. What do you have to lose?
Absolutely nothing. I was thinking about doing it the same way, just except for the solo cup method. I'm gonna just do soil in a brand new earth box, put the dome over top of it, and start it in there when it pops, and just slowly open the dome as it's outside or whatever, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
I think that's cool. I mean, I think it's one of those things where I, especially currently, where it's always like I would love to do it because I can't. Um, and it's more of I would, but it's also really nice not having to be prepping for going outdoors right now because it is
yeah,
so much work.
it really is.
And you have to, and I mean, it's not too much work if you're on top of it. I just am not a person who ever stays on top of things. So it's always a ton of work put to the last minute, you know?
Well, s there's a difference here though, and this is why it makes it a little bit easier for us up here. We don't have the fucking weather that you do. So when May comes around and it's fucking nice, everybody's dying to get outside and do
That's
something.
true. Yeah.
So,
You do. That's true. Yeah, I get that.
so it makes it a little bit easier for us to at least garden. Whereas you're just like, fuck, man, I could do it all year round. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I'll just do it tomorrow. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
fucking,
Uh, no, but yeah, I do got to get outside. No, but I started the Earth box. I might as well talk about my double smile.
yeah, bring it up.
Man, I don't know I did. I don't know what I did. I had to have done something because it is literally 12 inches tall and it looks like it's going to be one single cola.
Well, I asked you to send me a picture and you still haven't.
Yes, I did. It's on
No, you
Discord.
didn't. Yes, you did. It's right there. Yeah, that's so weird.
See?
It grew absolutely no
No
side
side branching.
branches.
It
But
like
none at all.
stalled and it stopped
What's
doing anything for a week. And it was just like, oh, I'm in flower now. And then it
what
just flowered.
what hold on, Jesus. Sorry. And that's in an earth box.
Mm-hmm.
What light's in there? And the lighting's fine, right? Is it too much
Lighting's
light?
fine. I've been measuring the lighting this time,
Okay.
like perfectly. Hell, if anything, it had too little light and the thing should have stretched all the fucking shit.
And you use build a soil light, fresh out,
Build it
right?
brand new, build a soil light. And I used seed starting soil, like actual seed starting soil. It's Costa Maine
I mean
seed starting soil in the solo cup. It
the
was
plant is,
maybe 7 days old when I took it out of the solo cup and just kind of planted it.
I will
And that
say
was like the
the plant is
easiest
beautiful.
because it's the 2 solo cup method. And it's looked healthy the entire time. It had humidity spot on the entire time until just recently where I'm like, guess I don't have to care anymore. It's fucking flowering.
Um yeah, I don't the every single leaf looks healthy. I don't see any signs of stress
Even the
or
stem,
heat.
like I've seen
Yeah,
overwatering. Like when you overwater a seedling, something happens. Like the stems turn purple, or they show some sort of unhealthy indication. This thing has never showed any sign that it was unhappy.
was um but it was transplanted, right?
Technically, yes,
Okay.
but it like I saw one single tiny root during that process. When I lifted the solo cup away from it, I saw one root in there. So was it a transplant or was it just like when you start your seedling and you put it in the next, like when you finally plant it? Almost it basically like fucking yeah, it was out of the soil, so I guess it was transplanted.
Yeah, I mean,
One
yeah.
uppotting. But as a seedling, even as a seedling, I wouldn't think an autoflower would trigger.
Well, you it shouldn't in theory, right? If you do everything perfectly. However, how
What
often do
type of
you
things
do
will
everything
cause that?
perfectly? Well, I mean, if you take a plant and you jostle it around and you move it, you're not it doesn't necessarily have to be like you can upset the roots by jostling it around, doing all kinds, being rough with it in general can cause
Okay.
stress to it, right? So you may be like, oh, I didn't see any roots, but if you fucking were hammering on that thing to get it out of, I know you weren't, I'm not, I'm just saying that like there's a lot of things that can cause stress to like, for instance, if it got
Even
too
at
wet and
like
too
a
dry and in the solo cup, and then when you went or like, have you ever seen like when you have a transplant, when you're going to transplant in the solo, like this is with a photo obviously, but when you go to transplant it from your solo cup in and you've been going too long, so you've got uh roots coming out the bottom and stuff,
mhm.
and you let it get dry and you come up, and you know how sometimes you can rip them because they get
Yeah.
stuck to the, yeah. There's all kinds of stuff where you just move into stuff like that happens that you don't even notice necessarily, that you can cause issues and stress to your plant. So obviously something happened, right? Um, it's just a matter of finding out, because I don't see anything wrong with, like, it's healthy. It's a healthy looking plant. It just looks
Yeah.
like it something jostled, didn't like it, hit it, root didn't like something. I don't know,
Okay. That's
because
possible then.
I'll only
Like I
say
said,
this.
because I don't know.
Yeah, I'll only say this, and I don't know either, but I have only ever had issues when I transplanted autos.
Okay.
And that is my personal, like, I know Captain does it to great success, right? Captain Autoflower does very well with it. I think BGG does too. I know a lot of
Mhm.
people have phenomenal success with it. I can't, for whatever reason. Whether it's I overthink it, I get nervous and I shake like a sumbitch, right? Like, I have done what I thought was perfect, no issues at all, and that transplant fucked me and just ruined everything.
Got ya.
And who knows how simple of, who knows what
Yeah.
simple thing it was. It's just that's why I'm so adamant against it in my grow. It's people were like, oh, it's not, it just be gentle. It's like, I understand that, but I have the kind of luck where if something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. I just need to learn to prepare to accept it and deal with it. So it's just like, instead of dealing with that, I'm just not going to fucking participate in that with autos, right?
Right.
Give me photos all day long, because even when I do fuck it up, I'm just like, well, I got to wait a couple weeks.
Yeah, you just gotta wait a little bit.
Yeah.
It's
But
kind of I mean,
so
it's good for
that's
me in
why,
my busy life right now, so I get it. I don't wanna say fuck autos because dude, bubblegum queen.
yeah. I mean,
I don't
okay.
need I say anymore,
Yeah.
and tangy tibuguana.
Yeah. I mean, there's phenomenal smoke that comes off of autos. And I think people, I don't know why anyone in this community, especially anyone that grows cannabis, would give a fuck what someone else is growing personally. Like, it blows my mind that you would judge someone else for what they're growing in their personal tent. Like that's mind blowing to me. But especially if the people shitting on autos, right? Like, there's obviously a reason that people grow them. And I've seen some people that grow fucking monster and successful autos, right? So it's obviously there's a path to do it. So when people are like, that's why I'm like, well, I always try and remind you not to just be like, fuck autos, I'm done. It's like, dude, people have done it. And I know that I've seen some people pull it off, myself included, that are not as nearly talented as you are. So it's always like, dude, if we can do it, you can. So it's just, I think you got to just fucking figure out your system and understand, that maybe you don't have as much leeway as you even thought you did with the transplanting. Maybe it's something so asinine that you're not thinking about, that it just keeps fucking you because there's another variable. Or maybe you just got the worst fucking luck in the world, and any auto that is ever is brought to life in Johnny Apple's basement is doomed to hell.
Oh, no doubt. I'm sure it's the luck issue.
No, no, no. But seriously, like, it could be something you're not thinking about, as is often the case, because you're bright enough, you're talented enough. It's not like, and I say the same thing to howling, right? Autos can be tough, but it's when you try and cut corners and do things that it's just like unnecessary, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
There's no necessary. You knew that you were going into that earth box. If you didn't need to do the transplant thing, at least then we wouldn't have had to been like, was it a transplant issue or not? Then we could be like, fuck, it was a problem. We know that it wasn't that.
What I was trying to eliminate on this run was a watering issue I was thinking I was
Mhm.
having with autos, because I know in a solo cup I can pick the solo cup up. I know exactly what feels right. I
Yeah.
can judge that, so that's what I was thinking, and had to, yeah, I just
I mean, I again, I could, everything I say is based on is random guesses, um, but I think you had the right thought too with the cello with the water cup. Like, let's get to what kind of works, but at the same time, you,
yeah, I tried to eliminate one issue and
yeah,
cause another.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta, but I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm sure it'll smoke great, but
Well, that's what I'm really hoping.
yeah, I'm
I
sure it
I
will.
mean, I
But it's
just
a
don't know what
healthy
to do at
plant.
this point. Do I
It's
just take the
incredibly
whole earth box and put it in the
no.
other fucking 4 by
Well,
4 so I can start a new auto on that one?
well, it
Because
depends
I
on
mean, I
what.
got room in the pepper tent now.
I was gonna say, you could do that, or you could put that earth box outside. Well,
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
fuck. Genius.
as long as you harden it off, right? Or
Yeah, I have to do it, like, over the weekend, over the course of the
yeah,
weekend or something.
I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, you're not gonna lose much. So, but it's
Oh,
frustrating. I can see
no.
why.
What am I gonna lose, an ounce, if that?
If I can say it is incredibly frustrating, especially for anyone who's doesn't understand what's going on. But I just think, especially for you, and oftentimes with howling, simplify it and let's tackle one issue at a time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but at the same time, I think this is an important note on the other side. If you're not having luck with autos and you need medicine, it would be um, insane to keep trying, right? Like, the definition of insanity: attempting the same feat multiple times, expecting different results, right? Or
Yeah,
expecting a
at this
different
time, I
result.
think I gotta throw a fem seed in an earth box in that
Yeah,
tent.
yeah, I fully agree. But and then if
I'm
that
just getting
still doesn't
so
work,
far behind trying to figure this out with the time on my hands
yeah,
and,
such limited time
um
ahead.
yeah, and with the outdoor season coming up, it just You're right, man. I'm starting to dwindle. My stash is starting to dwindle. The hella jellies are just now getting flipped. It's I can't at this point risk screwing up again.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And I think that's often the case. I mean,
they're
if
fun, and I'm not saying fuck
exactly
autos. I'm saying I fucking don't need them right now. I have to do something a
low
little bit
key easy.
less time consuming. Exactly, a little
Yeah.
bit less needy. Who
Yeah.
needs a needy bitch?
Every I mean, somebody's out there, right? Makes the world go round. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about doing what's fun for you, what's easy for you, and what's stress free for you, right? Like
Absolutely.
if you're staying up at night growing autos, why the fuck are you doing it? Like
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
stressing, it defeats the purpose.
yeah. But so I mean, the only thing I got left is Dad's tents.
Yeah, no,
The
that's
all the skunks have come down now.
all of them, huh?
All of them. His 4x4 and his 2x4 are empty. He the one 2x4 bed, man, that plant always looked good, and it's now the second run no till. So I think we're just gonna top dress that one and carry on. Like I'll probably start some cover crop in there and
Well,
um
before you do, I mean, you will still end up doing the same thing. But Jeremy came out with a new video where he reamends a bed that he's going to set up for autos in his. I think he's using a 3x3 bed.
uh his
Build a
build a soil bed, his
Yeah,
3x3, he's gonna reamend for autos.
yeah. He did. I watched the video. He had some clover in there, but then he put down some craft blend. I believe 6 cups. Can't remember off the top of my head. And scratched it into the top. But yeah, he was talking about remending that whole thing and getting it ready for some autos. So that might
No
be a
shit, because we were talking about what to run next. He
yeah.
wanted to run his the OG Haze from AG Seedco,
Hmm.
and he just after running his skunks, he's not as interested anymore. He wants to run kind of a slam dunk.
Yeah, something less hard, something less time
Yeah, I
consuming.
mean,
It's not hard,
this was
but
an old school strain, like, it hadn't been bred for anything, so he didn't like the looks of the way it was growing, some of them, and we don't know if it was the soil or what. So his big bet he's gonna get a soil test done because we don't know what is going on in that one because he's had problems before with the Alaskan Thunderfucks and his cancer blasters in that tent. Um, I've measured light, like his lighting's good, his humidity seemingly good. He's got the humidity sensors, the same ones the Howling uses. Build a Soil talks about those a lot too. He's using the crap out of them. Um, so yeah, definitely because we were talking about doing autos instead of the haze. It's like, dude, we can grow 5 different and you can have all sorts of variety. I was
yeah,
like, and I know all sorts of good breeders. We've got stuff to run. That's not the problem. But I keep missing the mark with autos.
I would watch the video. I think it would be the perfect time to at least have like a visual representation to present with your dad too. Just like, hey, look, you know. But I would check it out for him. I think it would be I think if it goes well, it would be a really good win for him. He'd get medicine and a lot of different stuff
Oh
because I
hell
know
yeah.
he was disappointed how not skunky the skunks were.
Mm-hmm. That's I mean, that's what majority of what it was is
Yeah,
they were all very terpy. Two of them were extremely loud.
yeah,
But they
just
were
not what he wanted.
very fruity, almost like cotton candy fruity.
Ooh,
Yeah, it was I
the
mean, I'm
the
not
world.
disappointed. I would be happy, but he's looking for acrid.
Yeah, and I mean, what can't be beat other than the world's favorite cotton candy fruit?
I meant yeah,
But yeah,
cotton
no,
candy fruit.
sweet
What,
cotton
you've never
candy.
had cotton candy fruit?
Candy fruit, yeah. Where does it grow?
You
Indonesia,
call yourself a
right?
Californian?
I know California. Um,
California, and you don't have cotton candy
I
fruit?
ain't got no cotton candy fruit out in my trees. No,
You mean you don't have any fickleberry horns or ferns or whatever the fuck?
oh shit. Fuck, artificial equinox. Buddy Herb sent me a message, and on Instagram, like the next day, he found some in nature, and he was posting pictures. And
What?
he was like, he was, yeah, people in his family like him. He was giving me shit. However, I want to point out he hasn't eaten them either. So he was giving me shit, motherfucker. What's up there, buddy? Yeah,
Of course.
we ain't got no class in California, but you ain't had them either. Um,
Oh, that's
but
funny.
yes, yeah. So that would be an interesting thing to broach with your old man,
Hell yeah.
especially because I'm coming up too. I'll jump into my garden
I
quickly.
was just
It's
gonna say, what do you do for your re-amending?
but
Because I know
what
you
do
do
you?
something different with your earth boxes, etc.
Yeah, actually, I'll get into it. So I'm on day 95 and 91 today, respectively, or I think I could be a day off. Nobody 96 and 92. I was right. The 2x3 and 2x4 tents, right? I've got basically mixed. So they should have been all day 96, but as we discussed earlier, I can't be bothered to figure out how to plant seeds properly. Um, but so in a perfect world, if everything was right and golden with the world, everything would be down by now. But what would happen is, I would chop all of my plants, and I would then turn my 2x3 into my dry tent, shut down my 2x4, and for the 2 weeks, basically everything to dry, and then and get started back up. And so I've got my totes of the Build a Soil Light that I re-amend. I hit them with when they first come out after I have chopped and let them dry out and get dry. I'll dump them in a tote, and then I'll put mustard seed on, and then some bokashi, kind of let them sit in their totes and go for a couple months, and then I'll take them out, re-amend them, and put them back into the earth boxes for time to
So
go.
you're using the mustard seed and the bokashi as kind of a life booster, a
A little
microbial
bit,
booster.
a little bit to break down some of the more like heavy stuff at the top, like organic stuff, like some of the like if I put some of the roots, like heavier root stuff at the top,
Okay.
anything kind of left over, like just
So
to
you
get a
just top dress that. You're not like mixing it in a
not
tote
yet.
in
Yeah,
the
I just
tote. You
throw
just
that.
top dress with it.
I just throw that right on top to just get a big bloom.
Do you have that big white
Yeah, it
nice
feeds
what is
fills the
that?
whole
The
top mica or the
my
mycelium.
mycelium. Yep.
Yeah, get a huge mycelium bloom on both, in both totes and stuff like that. And then, so in a perfect world, I'll have then, switched into the new earth box and planted as it then cooks till my next cycle. But
Mm-hmm.
this is not a perfect world, right? I mean, for God's sakes, they let people like me in it. But so generally now what I have to do is I have to, whenever the first one's ready, I have to pray that it's the 2x3, right? Because that makes my life the easiest. If it's the Alabrije tent, basically, then I can just chop that and immediately turn that into the dry tent, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
take the other two as needed and put that into the dry tent. But if it's like last time where it was Queen's Banner was done, but Tangy wasn't done yet, I had to sacrifice the Tangy slightly earlier than I'd like so that I can turn that 2x3 into the drying tent, because I have a portable AC that's hooked up that hooks up to the dry tent, to the 2x3 that turns it into the dry tent, and all the ventilation. Everything's kind of hooked up that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of flows that way. So it is really
Like
fun to
through
try.
ducting, you got it
Yeah,
ducted.
I've got everything ducted and everything. So both
Got
my
it.
ducts go out to the back of the, but so it's just easier that way. But so unfortunately, like, last time where you kind of have to juggle, and then I had to keep my Marley's Grin going for weeks after I finished my other dry, right? Like I had dried and a complete two dry cycle, got him into cure before Marley's was even ready to chop. So I had to juggle, and I got to say, like, it's fun a couple times.
Yeah.
After that, you're like, fuck it, right? I'm like,
Fuck, man, this is a pain. That's another trouble with autos is nailing down the time differences.
yeah. And so that especially comes to be a bitch when it comes time to re-amend when because you've got your earth boxes or whatever containers you're using, they're drying cycles now different too. You try and get them as close, so you can't just dump it into totes and get started. So
Oh, yeah.
it's even shittier because I'm juggling with totes, like, okay, this tote can get started. It is really funny how a minor inconvenience can like mess with everything when you're as
Yeah, spiral out of fucking
yeah,
control.
quickly. And then so you'll have some, like, I'll, for instance, I have to do a 48-hour minimum start and do all this stuff that I do before I even plant. And you can't do that if you've got one plant tent that's still ready, right? So
Yeah.
the last time I wasn't able to get my other tents planted till um like 4 weeks. I think I almost went a month in between. And all because of Marley's. And that sucks too, because I can't just start the next tent, because then I'm just going to run into the same issue. It just, like you said, keeps spiraling. So it's just kind of
Yeah.
like, fuck. So it can be a bit of a bitch sometimes. So that's why it's, in a perfect world, it would be, a perfect cycle, but oftentimes it's not. So it's just, it's kind of fun. But basically everything gets thrown into totes, re-amended with craft blend. After and usually what I'll do the mustard seed. This was the first time doing mustard seed, because I copied off of you, and then, but I've always put bokashi on top to get a big bloom,
Mhm.
and then store in totes, and then take it out, re-amend, let it cook till it's time to put it in. And I mean, it's not really cooking, right? It's just craft blend. It just rotated and put in a tote until it's time to throw it in the earth box.
So, let me ask you then, why not do a no-till in the earth box?
Well, I could, but I also just figured, because well, the reason I didn't the first time was because I wasn't running worms.
Okay.
So I hadn't had worms at all, right? I had none in any of my contain, or no, I had some, but I just didn't have the worm farm or anything like that, and I didn't want to keep it going and to get all the colonies established, I think. But I
Yeah.
also thought it would be easier because I'm in an apartment, and I don't ever really have access I don't have a hose either. So I don't really ever have access to, because you can't just keep doing no till in a
Earth
earth
box.
box.
Yeah, you might get 4. Might get
Yeah.
4.
And when I do get to 4, I don't think Megan's gonna appreciate me asking if I can take a shower with my earth box to scrub it out.
What well, you might be able to, at that point, call your earth box compost and just
that's
top dress with it.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. At that, but you know what I mean? Like, it seemed, maybe it's not as logical, and I'm sure that's part of the learning. I'm really excited to learn to find a system. Like, I'm excited to find the middle, you know, that something like, maybe I can go 3 before it becomes too unattainable. But well, now that
Yeah,
I
but
have
without
my
a
own one.
hose, it's a fucking pain in the
Exactly.
ass.
It's a pain in the ass. It is. So after one
I was
run, I
really
can,
trying that experiment for you, buddy. I really
yeah.
was. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I can't grow an auto to save my wiener, so fucking
So now you're
chop her off,
pickled. I
bud.
don't know. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's the part of the reason that I don't, right? I think it's really a lot easier in my situation to just kind of re-amend it and then boost start the microbe life really quickly, a couple days before.
Yeah. Now, are you gonna have to use the incubator?
Oh shit, yeah. So the solo cups are still going and don't show any amber at all. So it's
Really?
actually, yeah, it's blowing my mind. So it's actually looking like, here's my plan, tentatively, of course. Galaxy Brain looks like it's going to be the first one to come down. Um, I say that, but she finished her reservoir in 4 days too. I just put some in, but she'll be the first, and then it'll be Juicy. And then I don't know what Mango is going to do, and then the solo cups will be in there. So whenever I do finally pick, it looks like it'll be whenever Galaxy Brain is decided, right? Because she looks like she'll be
Mhm.
the first. That's when everything will come down except for the Mango. and what I'll do then is I'll dry that, kind of see what's going on. And I forgot what you fucking asked me.
The incubator, so you're not gonna need
Yeah,
it,
so I don't.
basically.
Yeah, I won't need it. Yeah, so basically, what instead of doing the solo cup separate, because I really did like they went from starting flower to getting chunky in record time, and then they just kind of stayed. And now I'm checking the trikes and stuff, but they're still they're still drinking water a lot. Like it's kind of wild. Everything kind of sped up, hurried up and to wait.
Oh my god, like every driver in New York.
Yeah. Sounds
Hurry
yeah.
up and wait.
Hurry up and wait.
Rush to the next fucking stop sign.
Yeah, yeah. Story of I guess the coastal elite driving.
Yeah. Shout out to So Sky for all the fucking driving he must have to do.
Yeah.
Speaking of, the reason I was thinking about him earlier. I was talking those 12 seeds I had planted in using his method, the peat pucks inside of a dome.
Oh
Or
shit.
those, yeah, the clone cubes or whatever the fuck those root riot basically things. So and it works. I started fucking my garden that way, the outdoor stuff.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's
He's
a
a good
really
guy.
fucking successful way to start seeds.
Yeah. He's a
Um,
he's a good
so
guy, man. If he's
shout out to Soskai.
Yeah, shout out to that New Yorker. Unfortunately, that's too many positive things to say about New York and New Yorkers for the show. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to say something negative.
Fuck New York.
There we go. We've balanced it out like on nature. But yeah, so what do you generally do with re-amending your beds? Like I know we talked about what I do and what Jeremy does, but and you were going to top dress. So I imagine you guys are pretty. He did about 6 cups of craft blend and scratched it in. I imagine, but and he already had cover crop. So I imagine you would do cover crop, scratch in some craft blend and get ready to go, which is probably what you do generally, right?
Um,
Or
yeah.
do you, or do you do?
I like to start, so ideally I should have already started the cover crop at Dad's. I
Yeah.
have it shut down right now because he needs a good freaking cleaning up there.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
like a deep.
his grow space needs to get cleaned. The tents need to get cleaned. I got to move the beds because they're not sitting on a tray. They're sitting on the tent floor. So I got to try and move those and probably clean underneath those. But ideally, I would have already started some cover crop. And as I'm germinating the seeds at my house, the cover crop's going over there. So that by the time these are ready to get transplanted, we chop the cover crop, we transplant, and I top dress at that time.
Say cover crop 10 times fast.
I'm not even sure I said it one time.
You didn't know, but the cover clop is no. But so yeah, okay. So do you? I had a question. Do you add? I know that it's full of microbes and all the good stuff, right? Do you ever add more when you're re-amending?
Uh, no.
Okay.
I add like I'll sprinkle some on the roots as I transplant, but
Hmm.
like re-amending, I don't add any microbial anything
Okay. So
unless I water it in, maybe.
okay, yeah, I was gonna ask, like, have you ever put any labs in, like, when you chop to when you start doing the new stuff, you don't, the stuff's already there. I was just curious if if you added more, or like you're like, okay, I'm in between cycling, like now that I've chopped and now that I'm going to plant, right? Like, how long does that usually take in your system?
Few weeks.
Okay, so you do let the soil. Do you let the soil dry up a bit so you can get out the root balls, or
I just take out whatever I can twist. So yeah, whatever
okay?
will break up for the most part because it's such a small bed. I want to plant in that same
Hmm.
area.
Yeah.
I could plant a little bit to the left and a little bit, but I have OCD and
Yeah.
ADD. Man, it's killer.
I was gonna say another thing that stops me from doing the no-till in the earth boxes is if you've noticed how in my 2x4 how I have two of them, how I have them set, I have to plant a seed in that general area
Yep.
on both of them for it to work.
Yep.
so, so it does make it a little hard, but yeah, so you do just twist a little bit out, but you don't go, okay, this is my, like after I chop and I give it those weeks, you don't have a typical like, okay, Monday I hit it with some microbes. Tuesday I add that. There's you don't have a set schedule. You just kind of play it
You
by.
know me better than
I
that.
know. I had hoped. I had hoped
Dude,
as a
I don't have a
birthday
set
wish.
schedule for anything anymore.
As a birthday wish, I had hoped, but
Yes, happy belated.
no, thank you,
Congratulations,
thank
you
you.
are now 1 year closer to death.
Much closer.
Mhm.
At this point, I'm living on borrowed time. You see, my retirement plan was die at 30, and as you can tell, I have lived quite past 30. So this is all borrowed time. I'm playing with house money, so it's all good. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Phone
thank
a
you.
friend.
Phone a friend. Someone please help. God, no, I'm just kidding. It's pain every day. Um, yeah, it's. I was just curious, man, because I would like if I was in that situation, I would be spraying so many microbes, but it's unnecessary.
Now, it's not this time because we've let the beds go dry. I've probably lost
Okay.
my worm population down to cocoons maybe at best.
So there is a
Um,
point at which you will go. It's no, I guess I hate to say it this
yes.
way because it sounds so bluntly, but there's a point where you're like, well, it's not technically living soil anymore because it's gone that while. And you need a refresher, right?
I would still say it's living. There's still
Of,
gonna be something
of
in
course,
there.
yeah.
There if not microbial, there's definitely fungal.
Hmm, hmm.
Because even in the I mean, that thing would have to go dry for a long period of time before I would call it, yeah, probably not a no-till bed anymore,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
or
yeah, I
not
mean,
living anymore,
see,
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. I'm just so
And I
used.
think they technically call living soil as having a plant growing in it, maybe.
I who knows? It's if you look at like the difference between no till sometimes and like Charles Dowding and some other, you can get lost in minutia and details. It's pointless to
Yeah,
argue.
like
But
pulling
yeah,
the stalk out is technically not no-till anymore.
yeah, exactly. Like yeah, you've disturbed valuable
Mhm.
ecosystems, but like we've said, there are extremes to every side. It's
Yeah.
people find funny things to care about, but I'm just
But
curious because I generally visual like for instance my the biggest beds that we grew in for research purposes still were only it was still like a single file line if you it was just basically a trough, right?
yep.
So we didn't have the width there, and so and it wasn't constant over time. It was set up, break down because it was just in a warehouse. It was get it out of the way as soon as possible. So I was just thinking like how if I was to keep that for a long time, after a while, yeah, you would probably in between times you would just be like, fuck it, I don't want to go in there and spray all this stuff, you know?
Yep.
So if it's even better that it's not necessarily necessary. But yeah, so I was trying to think as opposed to what I'm saying with like earth boxes and stuff like that, how I'm thinking, right? You do have to I'd have to reintroduce all that stuff if I let it dry, obviously, in its totes.
I mean, I do anyways, generally speaking, throughout the grow, I'm reintroducing it one way or another. Like I continue to add Photo Plus, I add Rootwise, I add Biofoss, I add SLF 100, I add fucking
Yeah,
BTI. I add all this shit continually throughout
that's
the
true.
grow. It's like so I'm constantly re-adding to it, like re-upping the population of whatever might be there.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
it's really interesting. I think you should pop some autos in there. Like I said, I'm once I get my more permanent grow location, I've always wanted to just do bigger beds.
Yeah, dude, I love them. It really is super easy. They are big enough that you can forget about them to an extent.
Yeah, and there's really nothing that can beat that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice that you can like I mean, I've gone a couple days like past when I was watering. Now keep in mind I'm also growing photos so they can
Take
take a
abuse.
fucking beating in these big beds. So I can like I've gone, yeah, they'll be all right. Yeah, they'll be all right. It's getting kind of close. Shit, I forgot I had to fucking water. It's 4 days late.
Yeah, I think you can get away with that on pretty much anything but like 5 gallon and smaller.
Yeah.
That's why I
I
hated five
even in my
gallon.
10s, man, when I'm in flower, it was every other day because
Mm,
I do more often waterings instead of doing a heavy
a heavy
watering and
water.
then
Yeah.
yeah. I should probably with the bigger beds try that. I probably will with the peppers, not maybe my medicine.
Yeah, don't want to mess up. Yeah, exactly.
Especially my hella jellies. They're looking beautiful. They're looking like they need to fucking get a hedge trimmer to them. So I don't necessarily want to fuck around with what they've got going on,
Yeah, please
but
don't. I like it. I mean, just
but
for the pictures alone.
so yeah, but I mean I got my big beds outside. I've been fucking I'm gonna do those the same way, man. I'm gonna get some cover crop going out there.
Hell yeah.
It's getting to be about that time, so I'm gonna go out there probably in the next day or two and sprinkle some cover crop in those beds. I covered them up heavy with straw last fall. Um and I've already got carrots started. The carrots are coming up already, surprisingly.
Hell yeah,
Um
dude.
the rhubarb bolted. So I
Oh, really?
cut the flowers off of that and hopefully it can focus some energy
Did
on
it get
leaf
hot?
again. But
Did you
there
have like a
was like
heat wave?
yeah, where it was like it warmed up really quickly and then it cooled down again.
So
New
fucking
York weather.
frustrating. Yeah,
I hope it didn't fuck up my apple trees this year.
I hope it did. I hope it cursed them forever. Get the fucking. Nah,
Shit.
I'm just kidding.
You
Well,
hope that on a Sunday when you should be giving us
I
a
was gonna
sermon.
say. I was about to say. This is how in fucking sync we are. I was about to say. Well, I've had enough of this bullshit. Should I give a sermon so we can get out of here? All right, brother. I got one. So we're coming into spring, right? And spring is often the time where you get back outside. I'm speaking from Johnny's perspective because I always can go outside in Southern California. Is this going to make everybody hate me? Yes,
Yep.
but
Fuck Johnny.
yeah, fuck John. This is an especially important sermon. Don't interrupt it. No, I'm just kidding. All I wanted to say is this spring, enjoy it, man. Just take every day for what it is with nature. You never know if you're going to enjoy another one. Um, that's very sad, but also very beautiful. Don't be a dick, mind your own business, and go with Frog.
I love it.
I went dark, dude. It's because I don't know if you know this, but I'm running out of fucking things to make up.
Nah.
Nah, it's good.
They love these sermons. Thanks for listening,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Peace.
Peace.